The star, the NBA didn't come, bro. Now look, Austin Reaves, I liked it Lemon Daddy last year and the year before that. I didn't know he's gonna be averaging 30 and 10. So hey, let's go ahead and see what he's talking about, bro. Let's see how Austin Reaves
seconds left in the game. The Lakers are down by 1, and the ball isn't in the hands of Luka Doncic or LeBron James.
It's Austin Lemon Daddy.
Watching from the bench, there are no all-stars left on the active roster, and no ascending lottery picks waiting for their moment. There's just one player left with enough on-ball creativity to give them a fighting chance, and he's an undrafted 5th-year player.
He's just like a regular kid, bro. Like he just looks so regular, bro. You don't think he'll be doing the things he do on the court, but
from a tiny town in Arkansas with 0 stoplights. Whether Los Angeles starts strong or stumbles, all comes down to this moment, and it rests on the shoulders of a small-town cowboy who bet the ranch on himself. This was a moment Austin Reaves was never supposed to have, but he doesn't look like someone who's really ever given much thought to that.
Lemon Daddy! Give me Lemon Daddy as my third option over anybody. If Lemon Daddy gonna be your third option, y'all can win the ship. I think y'all can win the ship. It's just the rest of their players on the team now. They get the last Cowboys in Los Angeles. You seem like this is a good video.
Every prospect that's approaching draft day tends to have the same strategy. Do whatever you can to go as high as you can. Honestly, it's not even a strategy. It's just common sense. Better contracts, more lucrative endorsement deals, even more consistent opportunities for playing time are all sitting at the top of the draft order. It's simple. The higher someone goes, the longer their runway is. Of course, for Austin Reaves, the idea of going anywhere close to the lottery was a far-fetched dream.
Bro, he was an angle like he looked it like he had potential
that his humble roots wouldn't allow.
He looked regular, but he looked like he
pride of
could
Newark,
be like
Arkansas, was looking at something near the beginning of the second round. That's not
Cal
a gaudy honor. Most kids don't grow up dreaming of the deputy commissioner calling their name, but at the same time, it's still a cosign from an NBA team. It's a moment that every basketball player has turned over in their heads anytime their focus drifts into their imagination.
We might gotta watch some Austin Reaves college highlights. Oh my God.
Right on the precipice of realizing it, Reaves turned it down. At his request, his agent sent a clearly articulated note to every team interested in drafting the dynamic guard. Have a guaranteed deal ready or don't pick him. The thing is, teams don't give guaranteed deals to second-round picks, and both Reaves and his agent knew that. They intentionally submarined his draft stock, guaranteeing his ability to choose his own team as an undrafted free agent, even though that meant they were taking another pay cut. Now look, this is bizarre. It's an all-in kind of
Oh, so he was like, fuck it, we don't want to get drafted, bro. Fuck it, bro. We gonna just take this and we gonna say, bro, y'all gonna have to pay us so y'all don't draft us, and then fuck it, go to our own team.
Player with no chips left to gamble, but depending on the destination, it could make sense. Choosing a franchise like the Spurs or the Warriors, teams with proven track records of development and investment regardless of pre-draft hype, could be a massive boost to a career that's starting behind the 8 ball. But Reaves didn't pick either of those. He chose the guys 2 years removed from a championship.
The late
from 2 incredibly high-profile superstars. At this point, it was starting to look like he had actually lost his mind. Any Lakers fan will tell you, getting drafted by LA doesn't mean much. They sent an entire young core to New Orleans for Anthony Davis, and before that, they had a history of quickly moving on from prospects if they failed to keep up with some ridiculous expectations. And that's just the price that comes with the Hollywood spotlight. Reaves decided to take his chances with this team while they were on a win-now timeline.
That was a gutsy
painfully
move.
Naive.
That
was
gutsy.
like all of those cautionary tales of
gutsy.
small-town hopefuls with
but
big
Lemon Daddy
dreams
came to hoop. When you a hooper, bro, you don't really give a fuck, bro. You like, bro, I'm a hooper, bro. I go anywhere, give somebody buckets. That's just how you feel.
City of stars, only to find a sea of ambivalence. Reaves wasn't a wide-eyed dreamer. He was just a lone ranger who'd rather bet on his 6th shooter than adapt. And I mean, that's a cool image, but it doesn't mean much if he can't pull it off. Until he did.
Knock down, walk. I'm him. Stop playing with me. Come on, Giannis, you can't guard me. I'm Lemon Daddy. Now, Austin Reaves, I'm keeping on it. Can he be a second option on the championship winning team? I think him and Luka going forward, bro, can be that. I think they can be like that. You know, like, they can be one of the ones. Cause Austin, he be cooking. I ain't gonna lie.
Against all odds, the former Sooner secured a spot with the team before the season started. And by the end of training camp, the Lakers had seen enough. They were ready to sign him to a guaranteed 2-year deal. And immediately, he made it look like a great investment. He was an off-the-bench spark plug that LA could count on to defend and knock down threes. Nothing revolutionary, but still, it was more than
hold on. He went and got Klay Thompson shit.
Bend and knock down threes.
I didn't know
Nothing
Lemonade was coming
revolutionary,
like that.
but still, it was more than anyone could have expected from the undrafted combo guard who spent all 4 years in college.
He was
Reaves
undrafted
set
too,
for
that's
a lengthy
crazy.
career
Like, he got
of making
bounced here,
timely
too.
plays and hustling for loose balls. Then his second year rolled around, and the grassroots hooper took another step forward. In his sophomore season, Reaves was given some on-ball responsibilities, and it became clear this wasn't your run-of-the-mill white guy with a good attitude and a finely tuned jumper.
Nah,
There
he
was
was
a
one of
little
them.
southern drawl to
He was
his
one of
game,
them.
a little tang that caught everyone off guard. He had size-ups that moved to a rhythm that seemed to be inventing itself, and counters that looked spontaneous. All of a sudden,
cooking
he was
folks,
running
bro.
the offense in spurts
He be
on
cooking
top of his
folks.
duties as a floor spacer and defensive chaser. Things were starting to feel a little Hollywood, like there was some underdog magic in the air. In LA, that hype was growing. Rumblings of a hillbilly Kobe breathing some life into what was an
A
otherwise
hillbilly Kobe is crazy word. We can't do that. We can't do that. The hillbilly Kobe, we can't. Nah, I can't do it.
disappointing
can't
season.
do it.
It was a fun little narrative to distract from Darvin Ham's aloof attacks on Laker basketball.
The key to the game thus far, we giving them too much.
Contest without fouls. Man, if you don't get your, that nigga hit with a frying pan on his head. That's why he got that bump.
Gotta be disciplined, show our hands.
But in the playoffs, it became something bigger. After deconstructing a fractured Grizzlies team in round 1, the Lakers ran into the defending champs led by a player that LeBron James knew all too well. The magnet ball marauder, the Bay Area bomber, the man who broke
Bay Area
game
bomber.
of basketball.
It's crazy.
Stephen Wardell Curry.
Gas.
There were a lot of concerns heading into this matchup. Keeping up with the three-point pace, matching Jordan Poole's bench production, keeping Klay Thompson from finding a rhythm. But the single thing weighing the heaviest on everyone's mind was the thing that keeps everyone up the night before they play the Warriors. How in the world were they going to slow down Steph? He had put up a generational finals run the year before and extinguished the Beam team with a 50 ball less than a week ago. Every defender in the league had taken a run at him, and every one of them walked off the court staring at the floor, trying to put their broken brains back together. LA didn't have a plethora of versatile guards to lean on, or a rotation of quick-footed guards to disrupt his rhythm, so they did the only thing they could. They threw the young cowboy at him. Reaves was asked to chase Curry around ball screens, stick with him when he decided to create on his own, and in his spare time, provide the same offensive boost that he usually did. That's an insane thing to ask anyone, but expecting it from someone in his second year in the league is almost cruel. Still, Reaves never backed down from a gunfight, and he did what he could. He didn't shut down Curry, because even implying that is basketball heresy, but he made him work for every bucket. And against Steph, that's a massive accomplishment. In the first 3 games, it looked like all of that running around was wearing him down on the other end. It wasn't ideal, but the Lakers were up 2-1, so it was perfectly acceptable. But in game 4, they needed more from him. Steph was determined to fuel the offense by any means necessary, and against that onslaught, LA needed all hands on deck. It was Reaves' first have-to-have-it playoff moment, and he came through with a combination of patient spot-ups and aggressive downhill drives. The Warriors responded with a 20-point blowout back in San Francisco, setting up a win or go back to the Bay Game 6, and the Lakers did not want to go back to the Bay. This was it, an opportunity to stamp himself as something more than a pleasant surprise in the league, a chance to remove any doubt from the minds of Laker fans, to show what that 6-shooter could do. The biggest moment of his basketball career, and Austin Reaves walked on the court like he was a headliner, a lone cowboy fighting back against the West.
Do you still feel like you have to prove that you belong here?
59% from 3. That bitch was cooking.
No, not really.
2.5 to go. Got it to Reaves. Slam dunk. Down the middle foul. Count him a go. And it goes. Three-pointer. Reaves. It's good.
Now Reaves one of them, bro. That's a
Another
fact.
3. Good. What a night for Austin Reaves.
I forgot it was in the conference finals that year.
LA was moving on, and Austin Reaves wasn't a nice undrafted pickup anymore. He was an essential part of the Lakers' core. Next season, his role grew again, and even though the Lakers would fall in the first round to the same low-post wizard who dismissed them last year,
Swear to
people
God, bro.
still believed in California's last cowboy. That offseason, there was a coaching change. To the joy of all Lakers fans, Darvin Ham was out and JJ Redick was in, which meant a more modern offense would be debuting in Los Angeles. Through the first half of 2025, with a little more clarity in the offensive side of the ball, Reaves looked prime for another breakout, not as a catalyst or a spark plug, but as LA's lead guard. Reaves had built a repertoire with Anthony Davis in the pick and roll game, and JJ Redick was acutely aware of it. After a couple months with LeBron's podcasting partner calling the shots, the idea of an all-star selection started to come in the picture, and for the more ambitious fans,
Bro,
that was
Austin?
only the start. That absurd gamble he made at the beginning of his career was starting to look more and more like an
that was a
inspired
hell of a gamble,
moment
but
of
it's paying
genius.
off.
But that's when the
It's
deck
definitely paying
got
off.
reshuffled.
Guys, this is the most stunning trade in NBA history. In the last several days, I'm told the Dallas
Yeah.
Mavericks called the Los Angeles Lakers and offered Luka Doncic in a trade.
Why are we trading the best player, the franchise player? How are we trading the franchise player? We went to the NBA Finals. He's supposed to have a statue. He's supposed to have a statue.
He supposed to. Damn. Hurt your heart. Boy, they got a two
It's
white
never a
chocolates
bad
in
thing
LA.
to play next to Luka Doncic. The Slovenian superstar generates great looks for his teammates like few people in NBA history. But for Reaves, the addition of a heliocentric creator like Luka threw his role back into question. The fact that it was a mid-season trade didn't help either. There was no training camp or offseason to figure things out. He just had to find a way to adjust to the new all-world talent he was sharing a backcourt with. For the rest of the regular season, the two made strides piecing together a new flow. It was a lot more off-ball work for Reaves, but that was something he was used to. And
Yeah,
when
he used
Luka
to
or
off-ball.
LeBron
He used to
needed a
off-ball.
breather, he
He
was
used to
still
that.
right there, ready to carry the offense. He handled this unclear, hybrid-type role as well as anyone could through the regular season. But when the playoff bracket finalized, the Lakers drew an opponent designed to stress test backcourts. Minnesota's reformed identity
Yeah,
was
he
all
wasn't going
about
for none of
pressure.
that.
They attacked relentlessly with a steady rotation of long, athletic defenders, taking full advantage of increased physicality allowed in the playoffs. This would have been a challenge for any guard that season, but without a real sense of chemistry or a true pick and roll big man, Reaves looked overmatched. Of course, in reality, it was more complicated than that. It was a team with a cohesive identity, battling one that was still in the early stages of forming one, but that's a longer headline and more complicated than a box score. What the country saw was a hyped player struggling and a bunch of stat lines that looked a lot lower than they expected. Reaves' percentages were down, his production was stagnant, and the Lakers lost in 5 games. In some markets, that kind of disappointment would have been fine, but not in Los Angeles.
Hell no.
For the rest of the offseason, every fan of the purple and gold dedicated countless think pieces and discussions to the question of what to do with Austin Reaves. He was officially
They was-
considered a potential trade piece.
Oh, no, they tripping. They trade Austin Reaves. They might as well go ahead.
An enticing
trade
part
Luka
of a
again.
package that
Fuck.
could deliver a proven co-star to pair with Luka long term. After all, it was 2 years since his breakout series, and this was the second consecutive season the Lakers failed to make it past the first round. Context goes out of the window when things get too frustrating, and nothing frustrates a fan base used to championships like stagnation.
But I feel like he's still
That
doing
leads
his
us
thing,
to
though,
this
especially
season,
This nigga's
Austin
cooking.
Reaves' ultimatum. There were no public statements or rumors of trade discussions, but we all know how this cycle goes. Reaves had until the trade deadline to make his place on this
The
team
last
clear, and if he
cowboy.
failed to do that, he'd be trying to do the same thing somewhere else.
He averaged
It was
30
the
this
final
year.
hand in that heart-pounding poker game he started back in 2021. Nerves, anxiety, even a little bit of rust. All that would have been perfectly understandable, but none of it showed up. From opening night, he was lights out. Not lights out for Austin Reaves. Lights out, period. He was playing off of Luka with ease, pushing the issue within the flow of the offense, and leveling up his game before our eyes yet again.
He was averaging
50
30 and
points
11.
in Sacramento, 40 in Portland,
telling you,
and then
getting
finally
buckets.
26 points and 16 assists through 47 minutes and 54 seconds against none other than the Minnesota Timberwolves.
And the game winner.
No Luka on the court,
Cooking
no
on folks.
LeBron, just Austin Reaves with Jaden McDaniels in front of him, and the game on the line. A hang, a cross, a floater over the 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, and one eloquent response to every theoretical
That was
trade
tough.
package imagined in the offseason. The Lakers didn't need another superstar. They already had one.
It's a fact. I ain't gonna lie. Austin Reaves is one of the ones. I think the Lakers, I don't know if they win the championship with him and Luka just being the best players on the team. They need some good role players. But him and Luka being a 1 or 2 option, I like that. I'm not mad at that. For the Lakers to come in the future when LeBron retires, I like that. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, though. And I'm sorry, next video, y'all already know what's going on. No cap.